It's Wilds of Eldraine release day, and how are the Confetti foils doing on the market on the release? Is there a demand? Will they fall short? Let's discuss the prices in today's video while we take a look at the top 10 most expensive Confetti foils. Welcome back to the channel, Mattcaster Mage here. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and joining on all the fun we have here as we go through the market of Magic the Gathering. And today we're going to talk about Wilds of Eldraine and the Confetti foils. Now, it seems like with every set, there's some form of a new foil treatment now, whether it's a Halo foil, whether it's the gilded foils that we got in Strixhaven, or even just etched foils, which is the first rendition, I believe, of all these kind of bizarrely unique foils, I guess. And I don't know how unique. Some of them are very similar to Pokemon, like the Galaxy foils from the Infinity set. But in general, it feels like they're trying to find something that really sticks with the market, something like even the Neon Ink cards. That one didn't perform well. None of them so far have really performed well, apart from if you're looking at lottery cards all the way back to the Masterpiece series with Kaladesh. Those are probably the best performing out of all these chase foils or chase cards that Wizards of the Coast has ever been able to produce, and this is before Project Booster Fun. So when Project Booster Fun was first announced, we've been getting an outpouring of just special variations, special treatments, special foils, some doing a little better than others, but for the most part, they all have kind of fallen short of what Wizards of the Coast is trying to do by making these cards collectible. Because at the end of the day, it is a collectible card game. While they are also game pieces, there's cards like the Confetti foils that are obviously meant to be a collectible card. Now, collectible cards, are these Confetti foils collectible? Why don't we take a look at the top 10 most expensive Confetti foils from Wilds of Eldraine. Now, the first one here is Greater Oromancy, and this is the anime borderless Confetti foil, obviously. 3 weeks ago, it started off at about $114.10, and now at release day, it's sitting at $79.67, meaning that it's dropped by 30% since its pre-release pricing. Next card here is Blood Moon, and this is the beautiful Confetti foil. I love the look of this one. Probably my top 2 or 3 favorite Confetti foils from Wilds of Eldraine. Now at pre-release, it was sitting at $109.49 and is cratered all the way down to $80.09, meaning that this Confetti foil has dropped by 26.8%. Next up here is Repercussion, and this card was about $117.91 at pre-release about 2.5 weeks ago, and now it's sitting at $88.94, meaning that this card has actually dropped by 24.5%. Next up here is Grave Pact, and this card has also dropped. Surprise, surprise. Started off at $147.95 and now is sitting at $94.72, meaning that this card has dropped by 36%. Next up, Necropotence. I love the artwork on this card. It's a beautiful card. Shame that it actually has dropped in price, but you know, it's still pretty new. A lot of the cards dump, but some of them don't actually. Some of the Confetti foils have actually went up in price, and I'll show you a little bit later on. Now, this card started off at $149.87 at pre-release pricing, is now sitting at $102.95, meaning that this card has dropped by 31.3%. Next up here is Parallel Lives, and this card is also a beautiful card, one of my favorite cards in this set. Actually, a great card for Commander, and a lot of the cards actually in the Enchanting slot are really good, mostly for the Commander format. Now, this card started off at $259.95 and has since dropped all the way to $132.13, meaning that this card has dropped by 55%. The second biggest drop out of any of the Confetti foils. The biggest drop is this card, however. Doubling Season, starting off at almost $500 and then has dropped all the way down to $157.32, meaning that this card has actually dropped by 69%. Now, the last 3, the top 3 cards out of the Confetti foils have actually went up in price, which is a bit of a surprise because a lot of people will say, well, including me, I should say that, because it's pre-release pricing. You know, a lot of the cards always tank at pre-release pricing, but not every single card. But it is very, very important to note that you got to be cautious when it comes to pre-release pricing. Some of the cards will go up, yes, but 99% of the cards will drop, but not these cards here today. Omniscience, beautiful, probably the best artwork out of any of the cards released, and it's not even a particularly big card in the Commander format. It's also being played in like Pioneer, Legacy, Modern. It's a beautiful card, absolutely stunning in the Confetti foil treatment. Now, at pre-release, it started off at $149.76 and then actually went all the way up to $168.59 about a week and a half ago, and has dropped a little bit, but it's still hovering over its pre-release price point at $160.79, meaning this card has actually went up by 7.36%. Next up here is Smothering Tithe. This card, you just cannot keep this card down. Doesn't matter how many times it gets printed. Well, actually, the regular version of the card has went down. But when it comes to this special treatment, oh my god, this seems to be the treatment everyone wants for their commander decks at the moment. Well, not everyone, but it seems like a large majority, because if you look at its pre-release pricing at about $274.92, it has actually climbed all the way up to $318.30, meaning this card has actually went up by 15.7%. Now the last card is Rhystic Study, the most expensive Confetti foil from Wild's Eldraine. Now this card at pre-release was sitting at about $300 and has actually went up all the way to $328.49. That was its highest peak, but then it's dropped to $310.49, but has since climbed in the past week to $324.96, meaning this card has actually went up by 8.37%. Now I find these Confetti foils fascinating. To me, they look so much like the McDonald's foils for Pokemon cards. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you'll probably agree in the comment section. I'll actually throw a few photos of what those McDonald's foils actually look like. That's what it looks like to me. It feels like they're kind of getting inspiration from other card games, seeing which foil treatments work for them and trying to adapt it and apply it to Magic the Gathering cards. And some of them were successful, some of them weren't. To me, like the texture foils that they did in Double Masters, and they've done them a few times since, like in Commander Masters, those look a lot like the Pokemon like full art cards. They have a very similar texture as well. A lot of the inspiration, it seems like, is coming from the holographic cards in the Pokemon TCG. But I want to know what your thoughts are down below when it comes to Confetti foils. Are they going to drop in the future? Are the biggest hitters going to continue to rise in price, or are they going to plateau? Where do you think that these foils are going to land on the market? I'd love to know your thoughts about that down below in the comment section. And with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a fun release weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Promo code Mattcaster for 5% off your order at Face to Face Games, Canada's largest Magic the Gathering store. Qualified orders get free shipping Canada-wide if you use our promo code Mattcaster at checkout. Whether you're buying singles or sealed product, use our code to support the show and get a discount.